Renee.
So good evening, everybody. So this is our just-in-time training on reporting in eBudde. Just a reminder, if you could please mute yourself. If you're not sure how to do that, Danny will be able to assist with that as well. If you have questions, we do ask that you use the chat box. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions as well. The training itself, Danny, you got that? Whoever's making the noise, can you mute them, please? You muted me too. I gotta start talking. And I'm like, nope, not working. Let's try that again. I'm hoping this training will be brief. That's assuming I can talk tonight. So we're going to be in your troop dashboard for eBudde. There's actually a number of reports you can pull just from the dashboard itself. This includes your year-by-year comparison data. There's a couple of different views that you can look at. And when you click on show data, it will show you last year's totals compared to this year's totals. If you participated last year, our little brownie reps work to try and get as much of last year's data into the system so that you do have some sort of a comparison. It may not be 100% accurate, but it will at least give you something to go off of. Now, if you didn't participate last year, then obviously that data is going to be blank. From down here, DOC Girl Delivered Orders. Remember, DOC stands for Digital Order Card, and that's the digital cookie website's name is DOC. So you can also look at how many packages each girl has earned by clicking on the show data for the DOC Girl Delivered. You'll have your service unit contacts, which is important for you guys to know who your service unit cookie chair is. If you do not have one listed, please let us know because most likely it'll be Danny, but we'll make sure that that information is in there as well. You can also see a map of the cupboard locations in the area. This is particularly helpful if you are looking for another cupboard that might have cookies at the last minute that might be able to help you out, or maybe a closer one. If you're in between two spots, which one you might prefer to go to. All right, now we're going to switch over to girl orders. There is some reporting in here that is also going to be helpful. You can print out your girl totals from this screen right here just by clicking on printable version. The purple coloring is what it'll look like if you print it in a portrait mode. The green line shows what it'll look like in landscape mode. So that way you make sure you adjust your printer preferences accordingly. This way you can see everything that you need as far as who's sold, how much, what their balance is owed, and so forth. By clicking on each individual girl, you can do the same thing with their totals. So when you click on the girl, if you hit printable, again, it will show you what that girl's totals are, what all the transactions are, and most importantly, what that balance is for that girl. Okay. So the transaction screen doesn't have a printable view, but just as a reminder, this is where you do your cupboard orders anytime you need to place a reorder for your troop. Your rewards tab will also have some reporting. Your girl report, if you manage to place a initial order, you can pull up your girl report to see who has earned, if anyone, the bandana at the beginning of the season. And then at the end of the season, once we are completely done, you'll also be able to pull the girl report for your final rewards order. This will be once you've filled it out. Right now, if you try to pull it, it's going to be showing you obviously zeros. Once you are able to start updating that information and submit it, you'll be able to pull that girl order report as well. This is what you will need. So at the end, when the recognitions come in, so you know who has earned what. Your booth sites, if you go to your current signups, this will give you a list of all of your booths that you are currently signed up for. And there is a nice little print sign up sheet button right there at the top. So that way you can print off what you are currently looking at. One nice thing with eBudde is all of your a lot of your reporting is going to be right there in the tabs that you are going to be using on a regular basis. So you don't have to go to a specific spot. There are more reports in the reports tab, and we'll talk about those in a moment. Now, under your sales report, this I'm going to tell you right now is going to probably be your most important report at the end of the season. This is what it's going to tell you what you are entering into your financial report that you turn into council. This is also where you will find your ACH data information. You will see right here, ACH number 1. I've already activated the ACH, so it will tell you how much you are owing for the first ACH out of core and toffee packages. Okay. This will be active until I print my report, so that way you know how much you owe. As a reminder, the first ACH begins February 8th. So if for some reason your troop does not have enough to cover the amount that is owed, you must email product@gsdsw.org no later than the Sunday night before that ACH. Because once I send the information to finance, no changes can be made to that amount. And it will still take a couple of days for it to show up in your account, in your troop account. But again, once it goes to finance, we cannot make changes. Now, onto the reports tab. The initial order report at this point, you don't need to worry about because we have already completed the initial order section of our season. The cupboards information report, if you want to, if you're looking for a specific cupboard contact information, this will give you the details on each of the cupboards within council. Delivery stations, again, you don't need to worry about that. It would be the cupboards that you would be working with. You can also print off a copy of your booth site sales. This is only going to give you data if you use the booth recorder when recording your booth sales. If you don't use that particular feature, then there will be nothing that shows up on this report. This is another spot where you can access those girl rewards as well as your troop rewards for both initial and final reward reports. And then some collective digital cookie reports. You can see who's been added by girl, orders, financial reports, so who's taken in what money, owes what money, that kind of thing, and so on. And that is the conclusion of the reports. Are there any questions?
We do have a few questions.
Okay.
So can you explain how ACHs work for IRMs?
So ACHs, so if you are going to use the ACH feature as an IRM, you will still put in your banking information. And this is required for all troops for sure. If you are an IRM, you can also do this as well. You would go to edit settings and you enter in your banking information. And then the council will pull the money directly from that troop or from that account on the specified days. If you are an IRM near one of our council offices and you would prefer to bring in money and turn it into the council store, those payments will then be entered by council and will be reflected on your sales balance and be taken off. So if you owe $1,000 and you turn in $1,200, then that $1,000 will disappear. You'll have a zero for that ACH and you won't have to worry about anything coming out. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions?
So DOC payments, how do we figure in that information? And DOC payments come straight to the council, correct?
Yes. So DOC payments are come directly to council, and you actually don't need to do anything because everything is automatically tracked. Sorry, I forgot my words for a second. And under payments, you'll even see where your DOC payments are coming from. So for example, I did have a girl who's temporarily moved into my demo troop as we were getting her IRM number set up. So you can actually see where for a brief moment, she had some funds that came into this demo account and show up here. It was then taken out and put with her actual troop. But you'll see it come in as DOC ship, and that comes off of what you owe. And that will show on your sales report as well. Under payments made, you will see that amount show up. So that way, you know that payment has already been made to council. And so you are not liable for those funds. Okay.
We have another question.
Yes.
Who do we contact if it looks like we're not getting credit for early bird? Will that impact the amount that is ACH'd and how much we owe?
It won't make a huge impact on your first ACH. We definitely have to have it squared away by the last ACH for sure. But you need to reach out to info because troop support is the one that gave us the information regarding early birds. So if you question whether or not you are eligible for early birds, you need to reach out to info@gsdsw.org. So that they can verify what the issue is and if you did in fact qualify for it. And if you did qualify, then they will let us know and we will enter it. If you don't know where to look, it will be under settings. And where did it go? There is, oh, here we go. Under generic proceeds, you'll see early bird marked for yes. IRMs, because the IRMs do not receive troop proceeds, you will see this marked as well. Not all of the IRMs have been updated, so if this is not marked, it will be by the time the first ACH comes out. And that effectively takes away the troop proceeds portion of it. Any other questions?
IRMs do not earn troop proceeds.
Yes.
Correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So if an IRM has no bank info on the dashboard, will it let me place my first order?
It will. Yes, you can place your order. What location are we talking about? Where are you located at?
It's Christine Gibson.
I think that's here in El Paso, correct?
I believe, hold on a second. Let me get my troop cookie coordinator list up.
Yes, El Paso. She
Yes.
said El Paso. Then if you are not going to enter that information, then you will reach out to Arhelia and she will coordinate with you on when and how to schedule with her to turn in payments. Because right now everything at council at all locations are still by appointment only. So you do need to reach out to your regional store as far as when you can turn in funds. But yes, you can pick up without that ACH information in there, especially if you're an IRM. But
Awesome.
I will warn you, troops, if you do not have that banking information in there by the time the first ACH goes through, you will not be allowed to pick up additional cookies, period. Due to some technical glitches, there have been troops that have been allowed to pick up, but we will be locking accounts once that if we notice that ACH information is not in there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some other questions coming through. Parents have asked about donation boxes that their customers have purchased. When someone purchases a donation box, does the troop set it aside the girl or the council, or do we just keep track of the number of boxes to donate?
So it is all virtual. So anytime somebody donates right now, it is only tracked by number. When you're at a booth, if you want to have a donation box just for the visual aspect, that's a great way to encourage donations. But all of those cookies will still be for sale. You will still sell those as everything else. You don't set anything aside. That happens at the very end. We will look at all of our numbers, what inventory we have left, if we need to place additional orders to fill the donations. And then we will distribute from there. So you don't set anything aside. It's all tracked by just the numbers and the amounts right now until the very end.
Where do IRMs order cookies?
Once you're in the system, the same way a troop does, you'll go through your troop dashboard under transactions, add a transaction, you locate your cupboard, and you place your order.
Thank you. And I see that Jennifer has her hand up.
Jennifer, go ahead.
Yes. So back to the digital cookie thing. So I was looking on our troop. So like my handwritten receipts that I've given to my parents have one balance. And then in the system, because they've had multiple, digital cookie deliveries, that balance is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, how do I explain to them why there's a difference in the balance? So I mean, like, it's telling me that it's 1544 is what the balance, what she's checked out, but it's saying that the balance that she only owes is 1408.
Mm-hmm. Because she had collected cash or collected credit card payments. So your best bet is to go through your girl orders tab, click on the girl and use that report for your amount owed, because that will also show all DOC payments. Let me actually, I'm going to pull up my daughter so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So you can see here where ship means that it was a direct ship product or direct ship item. So she gets credit for the cookies and the payments automatically applied. Where it says deliver, this is where she has no product that is attributed to her because it came out of product that was already in hand, but she gets credit for the payments. So if you are a paper person and you do everything with your receipts, what I would recommend is maybe once a week, go through and figure out exactly how many online orders they've had paid for that were in the area of delivered, and add that to your, or subtract that from your receipt amounts. So that way your balance matches on your sheet versus what's on your paperwork.
Okay. So just the shipped ones, we kind of keep those out because those were shipped directly to the customer.
Yes.
And then the donation ones, so like Vanessa had a donation one. So so we won't count that one as well, just the ones that say delivered.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. So your in-hand inventory, you're only looking at the in-hand inventory that they owe, because even their total amounts aren't going to necessarily match if you don't take into account all of that. So yeah, you would be focused on the delivered cookies specifically.
Okay. So for example, like for me, I would just put that as like once a week, just put say DOC credit payment and subtract that from their balance. Okay. Yes, okay. Correct. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I recommend using these reports, because it gives you everything in one spot. And it's also a great way to balance with your in-hand receipts to make sure you're not missing anything as well. Go ahead, Danny.
Sorry. We just had somebody ask why IRM girls do not have proceeds, do not earn troop proceeds.
Because they're troop proceeds. IRMs are individuals. We are going to be working on specific IRM incentives for things for if they're wanting to go IRM and earn towards trips and stuff like that. But for this year, we don't have anything specific for them. But troop proceeds are just that. They're for troops. And because IRMs are not a full troop, which a troop is 5 registered girls and 2 leaders, unless we're talking about cadets and older, then they can be that 3 and 2. That is why they don't receive troop proceeds.
Thank you. Christine says she needs to place her first order, but cannot input any numbers. She's trying to do it off her cell phone. I recommend trying to get on the computer and do it.
But
And
don't
can
do
you,
it through initial order. So that's, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Danny. If you're trying to do it through initial order, that's the problem. Initial order is only for orders placed in December. After December, that tab is locked and you cannot place an initial order. You must go through transactions and place your order that way. And it's, even if it's your first order, at this point, all orders have to be entered in through the transactions tab. Go ahead, Danny.
and Crystal, Crystal, I will reach out to you personally to get that parent's information. It could just be that we have not entered them into eBudde yet, or given them access. The first order is placed on eBudde. Your order, not the initial order anymore, but your orders will always be placed through eBudde.
Yes,
Correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, please do not email your orders into product or info or to Danny or I. If it's not entered into eBudde, it will not get placed. For those of you who run cupboards,
Right.
you're separate. That does not apply to you. We're talking about troop and individual orders. Do not come to us through any emails unless we have a system glitch and we give you verbal authorization for a one-time order. Otherwise, it must be entered into eBudde.
What is a good, for IRM girls, what is a good initial order for us to input?
To be honest, that depends on your location and well, your goals. How, you know, how much is she planning on doing? Is she really enthusiastic and how she's going to go about it, or is she kind of a little bit more laid back? Typically, one case of the smaller secondary flavors like the lemonades, lemon ups, I keep doing that, trefoils, do-si-dos, s'mores, and toffee, and then 2 to 3 cases of your chocolates. And now I have the hiccups, I apologize. But again, you can increase that if you've got a real go-getter who's planning on doing a lot of stuff, and especially with booths coming up or booths starting. If you're going to be doing a lot of boothing, you're going to want to increase that order as well. So there's a lot of factors that play into that.
And that's all we have.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stop our recording and we're going to go ahead and end for the evening.